Before the abs, before the Ballon d'Or trophies, before the Instagram empire, there was a skinny kid from Madeira who cried almost every night. Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro was born in 1985 on a small island off the coast of Portugal. Madeira isn't where football legends are supposed to start, it's where dreams are supposed to stay small. His father worked as a kitman at a local club. His mother worked as a cook and cleaner. Money wasn't just tight, it was stretched thin. Ronaldo later admitted there were days they struggled to afford basic things. And yet, even as a child, Ronaldo carried something oversized: ambition. He wasn't just playing football in the streets, he was playing like someone watching an invisible stadium. At 12 years old, he left Madeira for Lisbon to join Sporting CP's academy. 12. Imagine being that age, boarding a plane alone, leaving your family behind, chasing something nobody can guarantee. In Lisbon, he was mocked for his accent. Kids laughed at the way he spoke. He cried. Often. But here's the thing about Ronaldo. He doesn't respond to mockery with silence. He responds with training. He trained obsessively. After practice, he stayed longer. When others slept, he imagined goals. Coaches noticed the talent, but they also noticed something else: intensity. Ronaldo didn't just want to be good, he wanted to be the best. And that attitude, it's dangerous, because confidence at 14 can look like arrogance. And arrogance in football academies doesn't always earn you friends. But talent backed by work ethic is hard to ignore. By 17, he debuted for Sporting's first team. And then something happened that changed football history. In 2003, Sporting played a friendly against Manchester United. Ronaldo didn't just play well, he terrified seasoned defenders. After the match, Manchester United players reportedly told Sir Alex Ferguson one thing: sign him. He was 18. Within weeks, he was wearing the iconic red shirt of Manchester United. But talent isn't destiny, because at Old Trafford, he wasn't the superstar. He was the flashy teenager who tried too many tricks. Fans criticised him, pundits questioned him, he cried again. Yes, Cristiano Ronaldo cried, on the field, on camera. And England's media, they were not gentle. But here's what separates Ronaldo from most players. Criticism doesn't break him. It fuels him. Sir Alex Ferguson saw potential beyond the stepovers and skinny frame. He disciplined him, guided him, transformed him from a showboating winger into a goal machine. And then came 2008. 42 goals in a season, Champions League title, Ballon d'Or. The boy from Madeira had become the best player in the world. But this was only Act 1, because the next chapter would define him forever. A rivalry so intense it would split football fans into two religions: Ronaldo, Messi, and the battle for immortality. When Cristiano Ronaldo joined Real Madrid in 2009 for a then world record fee, it wasn't just a transfer, it was a declaration. $80 million, the most expensive player in history at the time. White shirt, Santiago Bernabeu. 80,000 fans watching his presentation. The pressure wasn't heavy, it was suffocating, because at that exact moment there was already a king in Spain. Lionel Messi. If Ronaldo was fire, Messi was gravity, quiet, effortless, genius without visible strain. And while Ronaldo flexed, Messi floated. Football fans didn't just compare them, they divided into camps. You were either Team Ronaldo or Team Messi. There was no neutral. And for the next decade, football turned into a weekly episode of the greatest rivalry the sport has ever seen. Every goal was measured, every trophy compared, every facial expression analysed. Messi would score. Ronaldo would score twice. Messi would assist. Ronaldo would take off his shirt and reveal a physique carved by obsession. Because here's the difference. Messi was often described as naturally gifted. Ronaldo was described as hard-working, which is a polite way of saying Messi is magic. Ronaldo is manufactured. Ronaldo heard that, and he trained harder. He transformed his body. Jump height, unreal. Sprint speed, elite. Free kicks, practiced relentlessly. Headers, physics-defying. He didn't just want to compete with Messi's talent, he wanted to outwork destiny. From 2009 to 2018, Ronaldo turned Real Madrid into a Champions League dynasty, 4 Champions League titles. 450 goals in 438 games, 4 Ballon d'Or trophies at Madrid alone. Let's pause. 450 goals, that's not consistency, that's obsession. And yet, even during his most dominant seasons, the narrative never disappeared. Messi is more talented. Ronaldo is more athletic. Messi is pure football. Ronaldo is ego. And Ronaldo, he leaned into it. If people called him arrogant, he smiled sharper. If they doubted him, he celebrated louder. That iconic "See you" celebration wasn't just for fans, it was a message. You can question me, but you can't ignore me. And then came the Champions League finals. The bicycle kick against Juventus in 2018, a goal so absurd that even opposing fans stood and applauded. That wasn't luck, that was rehearsal meeting opportunity. But here's the twist. When you reach the top repeatedly, the challenge shifts. It's no longer about proving you're great. It's about proving you're still necessary. By 2018, Ronaldo had won everything in Madrid, and instead of staying safe, he left, which tells you everything about his personality. Because Ronaldo doesn't chase comfort, he chases new mountains. And the next one would be in Italy. But here's the question that followed him. Was he running toward greatness or running away from Messi? The answer would define the next chapter of his legacy. When Cristiano Ronaldo left Real Madrid in 2018, it shocked the football world. Not because he wasn't capable of moving, but because legends usually stay where they are worshipped. Ronaldo doesn't do comfort. He joined Juventus, Italy, tactical football, slower tempo, defensive league. Many critics whispered the same thing. He's 33, this is the decline phase. Ronaldo heard that, and scored anyway. He became Serie A's top scorer. He won league titles. He broke records in a country where defending is practically an art form. But something was different. The Champions League magic didn't follow him. Juventus didn't conquer Europe. And for Ronaldo, Europe is the stage. Winning domestically wasn't enough. Not for someone obsessed with continental dominance. The Ballon d'Or gap widened. Messi won again. Comparisons returned. And then, in 2021, nostalgia happened. Ronaldo returned to Manchester United. The prodigal son, the red shirt again. Old Trafford chanting his name. For a moment, it felt cinematic. First game back, he scored twice. The story wrote itself. But football isn't a movie. It's ruthless. Manchester United wasn't the same club he left. The structure was unstable. Coaches changed. The squad lacked balance. Ronaldo, now in his mid-30s, was still scoring. But he wasn't the unstoppable force of 2008. And for the first time in his career, questions became louder than celebrations. Was he slowing down? Was he the problem? When he gave that explosive interview criticizing the club and management, it wasn't just controversial, it was symbolic. Ronaldo doesn't fade quietly. If he leaves, it's loud. And he left. Then came the World Cup 2022. For Portugal, it was perhaps the last chance for Ronaldo to lift the one trophy missing from his cabinet. Instead, he found himself on the bench during knockout stages, benched Cristiano Ronaldo. For a nation that once revolved around him, this was seismic. Portugal was eliminated. Cameras captured him walking down the tunnel in tears. Not the dramatic, competitive tears of youth, but something heavier. Finality. The internet, of course, had opinions, memes, debates. GOAT arguments revived like seasonal flu. And then, the move that shocked traditionalists, Saudi Arabia. Al Nassr. Massive contract, historic salary. Headlines screamed, he chose money. He's finished at the top level. It's over. But here's the part people misunderstand about Ronaldo. He doesn't see moves the way fans do. He sees chapters. In Saudi Arabia, he became more than a footballer. He became a symbol, a catalyst for league expansion, a magnet for global attention. Suddenly, other European stars followed. Critics called it retirement. He called it impact. At nearly 40, he's still scoring, still training obsessively, still maintaining a body that looks engineered. Is he the same Ronaldo of 2014? No, but that version doesn't exist anymore, for anyone. The question was never whether he would decline. Every athlete does. The real question is, how do you handle it when the world waits for you to slow down? Ronaldo's answer has always been the same: train harder, guys, speak louder, move forward. But now we're at the final chapter, because legacy isn't about statistics. It's about how history remembers you. And that conversation, GOAT or not, is far from over. There is a dangerous thing about numbers. They look objective. They feel final. Cristiano Ronaldo built a career that looks like a spreadsheet from another planet. 800-plus career goals, 5 Ballon d'Or trophies, league titles in England, Spain and Italy, 5 Champions League trophies, European Championship with Portugal. If football were mathematics, the debate would be over. But football isn't math, it's emotion. And emotion created the most exhausting argument in modern sport: Ronaldo or Messi, GOAT or not. For over a decade, the rivalry wasn't just about goals. It was philosophy. Messi represented artistry, fluid, instinctive, almost mystical. Ronaldo represented construction, discipline, obsession, transformation. Messi felt like fate. Ronaldo felt like willpower. And that difference shaped how people judged them. When Ronaldo celebrated loudly, some called it arrogance. When Messi stayed quiet, some called it humility. But here's the truth that makes people uncomfortable. Ronaldo never pretended to be modest. He has openly said he sees himself as the best. He has celebrated like a man who knows cameras are watching. He has built a personal brand, CR7, that extends beyond football into fashion, hotels, fragrance, fitness, and social media dominance. He didn't accidentally become the most followed person on Instagram. He engineered it. Some fans admire that confidence, others resent it, but you cannot ignore it. And that's part of the legacy, because greatness doesn't always come wrapped in softness. It sometimes arrives sculpted, rehearsed, relentless. Ronaldo is one of the few athletes who turned his body into a machine through sheer discipline. The hours in the gym, the strict diet, the recovery routines. Teammates have described him as obsessive, competitive even in training drills that don't matter. But to him, everything matters. That mindset is why, at nearly 40, he still sprints like someone chasing 18-year-old defenders. Is he the same explosive winger from Manchester United 2008? No. Is he the same Champions League assassin from Real Madrid 2017? No. But that version of Ronaldo existed because he built it. And he rebuilt himself every time the game demanded something new. Winger, goal machine, penalty box predator, veteran leader. Even his move to Saudi Arabia, criticized as a decline, reshaped football economics. Suddenly, Europe wasn't the only gravitational center of elite talent. He didn't just transfer, he shifted attention. And maybe that's what separates Ronaldo from pure nostalgia. He never lets the narrative close. Even now, every goal he scores restarts the debate. Is he chasing numbers, or is he chasing immortality? Because for Ronaldo, legacy isn't passive. It's active. It's built daily. He once said, "Your love makes me strong. Your hate makes me unstoppable." That sentence explains his career more than any statistic. He thrives on friction. He grows in criticism. And while the GOAT debate may never reach universal agreement, one thing is clear: Cristiano Ronaldo forced football to evolve around him. From Madeira to Manchester, from Madrid to Turin, from World Cup heartbreak to global brand empire. He wasn't supposed to make it. He wasn't supposed to last this long. He wasn't supposed to dominate across eras. And yet, here we are, still debating him, still watching him, still reacting to him. And maybe that's the final measure of greatness, not whether everyone agrees you're the best, but whether they can't stop talking about you. There is a version of Cristiano Ronaldo that the world rarely talks about. Not the one celebrating with CU, not the one posing beside trophies, not the one flexing abs after a goal, but the boy who cried in Lisbon, the teenager mocked for his accent, the young winger called selfish. Because here's the uncomfortable truth about Ronaldo. His greatest weapon was never talent. It was dissatisfaction. He was never satisfied with being promising, never satisfied with being good, never satisfied with being compared. That hunger shaped everything. It shaped the extra training sessions, The transformation from skinny winger to athletic machine, the relentless chase for records even after winning everything. Some athletes peak and protect the memory. Ronaldo peaks and hunts another mountain. But ambition has a cost. The cost is scrutiny, every celebration dissected, every transfer questioned, every interview analysed for ego. When he shows confidence, some see arrogance. When he demands standards, some see selfishness. But what if that intensity is the reason he lasted across eras? Ronaldo didn't rise in a vacuum, he rose in the Messi era, which might be the most important detail in his entire story, because without Messi, Ronaldo might have relaxed. Without Messi, maybe 4 Ballon d'Or trophies would have felt enough. Instead, he had a rival who forced him to evolve yearly. The rivalry wasn't just external, it was internal. He trained as if someone else was always slightly ahead. And maybe that's the secret. Ronaldo's career is not just about goals, it's about response. When people doubted him in England, he improved decision-making. When critics said he relied on pace, he became a lethal finisher. When aging threatened explosiveness, he adapted into a pure goal predator. Adaptation is intelligence, longevity is discipline, and discipline is rarely glamorous. Now, as he enters the twilight of his playing career, the conversation shifts. Is he still the best? Is the Saudi move legacy damage or expansion? Did Messi win the GOAT debate after lifting the World Cup? But legacy doesn't freeze at one tournament. Legacy is accumulation. Cristiano Ronaldo changed what athletes believe is physically possible in their 30s. He turned self-branding into an empire long before influencer culture became standard. He proved that obsession, when controlled, can extend greatness. He may not have everyone's affection, but he has everyone's attention. And attention, sustained for 2 decades, is not accidental. From a small island in Madeira, to the biggest stadiums on Earth, to becoming one of the most recognized faces on the planet, Ronaldo didn't just chase football history, he inserted himself into it. Love him or criticize him, defend him or debate him, the sport feels different because he existed in it. And maybe that's the ultimate definition of greatness. Not perfection, not universal approval, but impact. Cristiano Ronaldo was never supposed to make it this far. He was never supposed to last this long. He was never supposed to compete across generations. Yet, here we are, still counting his goals, still arguing about his rank, still watching for the next "see you." And when the final whistle of his career eventually blows, the debates won't end. Because legends don't retire from conversation, they become part of it.